a far-right state lawmaker, a Trump-endorsed megachurch pastor, and now a sitting state senator. What do they all have in common? They've all been arrested for crimes involving children, sexual abuse, child exploitation, predatory behavior from the very people who claim to protect the children. You're looking at the faces of power, now crumbling under the weight of their own hypocrisy. Tonight, we expose the rotten core of a movement built on moral superiority and unravel the web of Republican arrests unfolding in 2025. Welcome back. And what we're about ready to break down is one of the most disturbing patterns we've ever covered on this channel. In just the past few months, 3 powerful Republican figures, each in a position of trust and influence, have been arrested in connections to crimes involving the sexual abuse of minors. We're not talking about rumors. There are formal indictments, mugshots, and federal charges. R.J. May was a rising star in South Carolina politics, a founding member of the state's Freedom Caucus, a U.S. Air Force veteran, and a self-declared protector of traditional values. But behind the podium, prosecutors say May was downloading and distributing child sexual abuse material. April 2024. DHS receives a tip from NCMEC about a Kik account, Joe Biden 69, sharing graphic content involving children. Now, I want you to pay attention to that username right there, Joe Biden. And I want you to keep this in the back of your mind through this video, how the Republicans, since Trump has come back into office, are continuously trying to blame Joe Biden for their screw-ups. May's IP address and devices linked him directly to the account, alias Eric Rentling. June 2025. June 11th, 2025. Arrested on 10 felony counts of distributing CSAM. That's child sexual abuse material. The evidence, over 220 files shared in just 5 days. Continuously play that number through your head. 220 files in 5 days. May says it was someone else on his Wi-Fi. Federal prosecutors say the digital evidence leads straight to him. As the news broke, the South Carolina Freedom Caucus scrambled to distance itself. He was their communication director, strategist, and founding member, but now expelled, disavowed, forgotten. There is no defense for this, the South Carolina Freedom Caucus statement said. Now, let's take a look at Robert Morris. Robert Morris is not just any pastor. He's the founder of the Gateway Church, one of the largest mega churches in the country. He served on Donald Trump's Evangelical Advisory Board, hosted him in 2020, preached on Fox News. But in March of 2025, Morris was indicted on 5 felony counts of lewd acts with children. The alleged abuse began in the late 1980s, when Morris was a traveling pastor. His victims say she was just 12 years old when it started. The indictment includes horrifying detail. Even worse, in a leaked audio recording, Morris appears to offer hush money to the victim to stay silent. "You don't have to forgive me, just don't go public," said Robert Morris. In June of 2024, he quietly resigned, Now he awaits trial in Oklahoma. Case number 3, which I've already done a couple videos on this. Justin Eichorn, Minnesota State Senator. Our third case hits the Midwest. Minnesota State Senator Justin Eichorn, a married father of 5, a champion of faith and family legislation. In March of 2025, he was caught in a child sex sting by undercover officials. Eichorn believed he was meeting a 17-year-old girl at the Duluth area motel. Instead, it was law enforcement posing as the minor. He was arrested at the scene with condoms and alcohol in his car. The charges: attempted solicitation of a minor for sex, plus transporting a minor. Eichorn resigned 2 days later, his political career and family shattered. These 3 cases aren't isolated. They're part of a very, very, very disturbing trend. In April of 2025, DHS launched Operation Satiric Shield, a national crackdown on child sex crimes. Over 240 arrests have followed. Officials say several more elected officials and clergy may be under sealed indictment. Republican leaders are bracing for more exposure. Some call it a purge, others calls it a long overdue justice. The hypocrisy: protecting our children versus predatory behavior. These same men, May, Morris, and Eichorn, have all taken public stands against LGBTQ rights, sex ed, drag shows. They claimed to be fighting for the safety of children, but behind closed doors, they were the threat. They were the ones doing the grooming. They were the ones abusing children. When politicians wrap themselves in a flag or a Bible but prey on the powerless, it's not just hypocrisy, it's pure evil. R.J. May awaits trial, up to 200 years in prison if convicted on all counts. Robert Morris facing 5 counts, trial set for late 2025. Justin Eichorn, charges pending, trial expected to begin this fall. You can't preach purity while living in filth. You can't scream, "Save the children," while secretly exploiting them. And you sure as hell don't get to hide behind party, power, or pulpit when the truth finally comes out. If you believe in accountability for everyone, subscribe, like, comment, share this video, and ask yourself, what does it say about a movement when this many of its leaders are getting arrested for the exact same thing they preach about? Who's really protecting your kids in the government? 3 Republicans so far this year have been arrested for sex crimes against children, and they will be held accountable.